is Nyamgul Agaji. I welcome you very gladly to today's edition of the program, the 13th day of April 2026. So as the program is called Front Page Review, it means that we're bringing you front pages of the national dailies every weekday. So what do we do on the program? We bring you those headlines and expect you to also lend your voice to the discussions we'll be having or we've been having. And the goal is to make our country better than it is right now. So what we do every morning is to join, for a long time now, is to join Rufai Oseni to give us his thoughts on the headlines before we come back to our own discussions. So let's take Rufai Oseni this morning, and then when we return, we'll be talking to ourselves, as it were, and make sure that we find solutions to the problems of this country. We commend the commendables and condemn the condemnables in our country, so that we can find that El Dorado as soon as possible for our children, if not for us. Okay, so Rufai, good morning and welcome.
Okay. The many stories making the rounds, and I'm going to be breaking down each and every of these stories one by one. And we're going to be looking at the stories, trying to be able to educate Nigerians on them, and trying to be able to find solutions to niggling challenges as regards them. So this week, we should expect some key landmark decisions as regards the electoral situation in the country. The ADC debacle is still on. There's still lots of back and forth as regards that. And we're expecting some decisions. I think the court is going to make a decision on the 14th. We'll also see how the congresses will, go, and all that case will go. But we just want to call on those manipulating the ecosystem for their gains to please have mercy on democracy. And these are the things we keep telling these people, because it's not supposed to be about them and them alone. It's also supposed to be about the furtherance and the existence of Nigeria as a democratic nation. And whenever this is in doubt, this is made suspect, and then it becomes a problem. So we are watching, and we're also hoping that the democratic actors will do right and be able to do what is right for a democratic process. So we are hoping. Let's see how it pans out in the coming days. Over the weekend, President Tinubu had the effrontery to tell Nigerians that are suffering that you are even lucky. Can't you see what's happening in Kenya? You see, those are part of the things we say about President Tinubu most of the time. That when we look at it, it looks like there's little or no regard for the people in the country. And the state of play of democracy and governance is so bad that it just only revolves around the leadership, and the people are not carried along. President Tinubu saying that, look at what is happening in Kenya. Will he try to spare a thought to look at how low the minimum wage is in Nigeria? Can he compare it to the standard of living that the Kenyan people enjoy? Can he? And these are the questions we keep asking all of them. But for them, it's about them and themselves alone. It's never about the accountability for the people. It's never about the sufferings for the masses. It's about them, their lifestyle, everything that concerns them, and them alone. So for him to even make such a statement, it's marks of hypocrisy, it's marks of pain, it's marks of insensitivity to the plight of a lot of people out there, which is very sad. And I think President Tinubu should never have even ever thought of even comparing Nigeria and Kenya. He should think of how he can bring solutions to the problem. There's a global war, yes. We're not saying he caused the war. What we're just saying is he should be able to find solution to the sufferings and the pains of the people, the hunger pangs of the people. That's just it. 30 people are found killed after a military airstrike in Jili village, located between Borno and Yobe State on Saturday evening. So the incident occurred around Jili market between Gubo and Gedam area. Reportedly left traders and residents in panic as the explosion rocked the busy markets. So a councillor in the area, Lawal Zana, confirmed the casualty figures. And he said from information, over 30 people have been killed so far. He said the attack occurred around 4 p.m. while commercial activities were going on, with several fighter jets reportedly involved in the operation. He counted 56 corpses. And he said the strike may have been aimed at suspected Boko Haram members. But this is now also a case of collateral damage. The weekly market draws traders from surrounding communities like Gubio, Chikwam, Benishek, Gorokeya, and Gedam. Somebody will have thought that we should have taken better precaution with this attack so that it will not affect a lot of people. But it's a very sad one that it has affected a lot of people. But in all fairness, yes, we have now seen a reaction from the military as regards, some of the attackers that attacked them at Benishek the other day. And now, some of them were apprehended. I think we've seen 1 or 2 interviews of those that were apprehended and how much they were paid to be able to carry such a dastardly attack on the military. I think it's time the military really goes after them and bring them to book, because this is very sad for the country as we speak. And it is not a good sight at all for the country. So I'm looking forward to the military bringing the perpetrators of this heinous crime to book. As regards the scandal going on now with the INEC chair, we should just ask questions. If Amupitan is saying that he never owned a Twitter account and everything, can we subject that claim to forensic investigation? Can Amupitan, subject himself to a proper forensic evaluation of his internal social media before now, so that we can get to the end of that matter? Because these are big integrity questions. And when integrity questions come asking, they should be able to have a definitive independent forensic evaluation. All of this story came out recently when it was discovered that Amupitan, with his former Twitter handle, was actually a supporter of the APC. In fact, cheering them on in the last election cycle. He has come out to deny it and say nothing of such happened, that the Twitter handle being linked to him is not his. But people have also gone out to dig out more facts to corroborate that. So I think it's time for us to be able to dig deep into this matter and ensure we get to the end of this matter. So it's very sad what is going on. But for the sake of integrity, we need to dig deep. And we need to look at what has been going on. I had to do in former PDP presidential aspirant has gone to ADC. A lot of more people keep going to the ADC fold. Like we said before, over 50 traders feared dead in the Jeli attacks. Trump is ordering U.S. naval blockage of the Strait of Hormuz. That means the war and the incident continues. Jeli incident, Borno hospital raises alarm over critical. I think they're having blood donation issues, after the Jili attack, because I think the hurt is so much that they have to now look for blood for the people that have been affected. So We are waiting on it. They said there's a severe shortage of blood following the admission of victims linked to the recent air operation in Gili village. And he said that the hospital requires blood donations urgently, to be able to save the people there. So according to him, medical personnel are doing their best to stabilize patients, but the lack of adequate blood supply remains a major challenge. We need people that can come up and donate blood for the people in this area. I mean, it's just sad. It's just sad that the collateral damage is just a challenge now. In the bid of getting rid of these terrorists and these nefarious elements, people are now dying. The damage is just too much. The collateral damage, the pain on the people. It's a very crazy one. It's a very tough one. It's a very tough one. So it's a very sad one. But we'll see how all of this pan out in the coming days. We'll see, what will come out of all of these processes, and we'll see if we can at least get a reprieve. Concerning the airstrike, Wagana Zuluma said that the government had closed down Gili Market about 5 years ago because it was serving as a hub for notorious elements, and he too has just been talking as regards this Gili strike incident. Gunmen attacked herders and killed cattle in Plateau community. Manchester City claimed dominant win over Chelsea. They reduced Arsenal's lead to about 6 points. I'm sure Arsenal fans are probably jittery at that. DSS releases Kano governor's aide on bail after 4 hours in custody. And that case is still going on there. And we're, looking at all that is happening. Like Kano residents protest over abandoned roads in the states. We'll see how all of that pans out in the coming days.
Well, like you said, we'll see how that pans out. It's Nigeria. We want it to work. A lot of things have happened, and some very, very heartbreaking. In fact, some stories or some headlines have it that over 200, others have it as over 400 casualties in that bombing. That so many people called a mistake, while the military are calling it a targeted a target based on intelligence that they had. They had to go and bomb the insurgents there in that market. But no matter what, it cannot be explained away. There must be some civilian casualties there, and our heart goes to all of them that needlessly have lost their lives. Okay, it's still a front page review. We'll talk more about the headlines, but let me just reel out the headlines this morning for you. Some of them Rufai has touched, and others he may not have touched. So let's begin with the Daily Post newspaper. The Daily Post newspaper leads with Nigeria loses over 400 innocent citizens to accidental bombing. That is the leading headline on the Daily Post newspaper. 400 is what the Daily Post is leading with. And meanwhile, the Nigerian military has defended airstrikes on Gili village market near the Borno-Yobe border, calling the target a terrorist enclave. However, some of the survivors have confessed that they were cattle traders, not terrorists. Over 50 persons were killed in the strike and all that. We also have other people who have been saying, the army is also coming out with a confession, an alleged confession of one of the insurgents that was captured, and confessing that they were all really doing business at that place. The Nigeria Police Force has questioned reports by Amnesty International claiming that at least 1,100 persons were kidnapped across Nigeria within months. The police described the figure as unverified and not cross-checked with security agencies. And then we also have former presidential aspirant Mohammed Hayatuddin leaving the People's Democratic Party and joining the African Democratic Congress. I think that is a very bold step. That's a courageous step, in spite of the fact that there are so many things that are going on in the ADC and all other opposition parties. Meanwhile, Enugu State Chapter of the All Progressives Congress has debunked reports of crisis within its fold, describing allegations of mass resignation as non-payment of delegate stipends as a false narrative orchestrated by mischief makers. Okay. Hopes of a possible drop in fuel prices in Nigeria have been dealt a fresh blow following the collapse of high-stakes negotiation between the United States and Iran, a development that has reignited tension in the Middle East and sent shockwaves throughout the global oil markets. Okay, just taking those headlines, I think as we go ahead, we'll just be mentioning these headlines. I'd like to welcome to the studio Dr. Peter Nosik, the author of best-selling books, one of which is on politics, the other one is self-development, the other one is how to manage money and how to go into business. Dangote's 10 Commandments on Money. I remember that one very vividly. Not because I remember that one. That was very easy. And then democracy, the abuse of power. Mm-hmm. How democracy turned into tyranny of the few. And then the one on development, self-development. How to become the best that you can be. We'll talk about that later on the program. But for now, welcome to the program, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's begin with the unfortunate airstrike that we've had or the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Air Force has put us through. The report here on the Daily Post is saying 400. Nigeria loses over 400 innocent citizens to accidental bombing. Okay, this may not be just because of this incident, but some other headlines are saying 200 in this very one. Some other ones are saying the number of people killed actually are up to 50 and above. There are other civilian casualties and all that. But if you put the figure of accidental bombings together, we'll have up to about 400. I'd like your comment on this unfortunate event.
Well, it is very, very unfortunate that, unlike you say, there's a saying that it is better for 99 criminals to escape than for one innocent person to suffer injustice. Understand? So we are human beings, and human beings are liable to mistake. Understand? But the mistake should be calculated. Okay, for the Nigeria Air Force, what really made them think that the people there are terrorists? Understand? At least you ought to have seen them with guns. Understand? You ought to have seen them with guns or weapons. Something must show you that these are bad people before you begin to strike. What I read before coming to the studio is that investigation has commenced. So I pray let the investigation be transparent, because I have read an account of somebody whose father was also involved. Understand? And they said that they are legitimate business people, because that is a market. And what I read was that they suspected that Boko Haram members come to collect tax from the traders. In such a situation, you should see collective punishment. We shouldn't strike in that situation, because innocent people will always be there. Even in the East, that's what we say. If you throw a stone inside the market, you don't know who it will land on the head. So you don't do such a thing. So let us wait for the result of the investigation.
But is that even an excuse that they come to collect tax? That means these people are paying tax out of fear. And if they're doing that out of fear, it doesn't mean that they are necessarily supporting the insurgents. So
it's fear. One, in many areas, for you that's in some areas like Castina, they pay what they call a protection tax. Understand? They pay what they call as protection tax. And if you want to go to the farm, you have to pay tax. If you want to go to the market, you have that to pay tax. It's not even in the northern states. It is happening in Okigwe and Mbano area in Imo State. Understand? It is happening also in the south. That's why I keep on saying that insecurity is not fully reported in the country.
There's a headline like that this morning also that is saying that insecurity is not is underreported. Meanwhile, the Nigerian police is disputing what Amnesty International said, that over 1,000 people, 1,100 people precisely, have been kidnapped in 3 months. They're saying that it is not true.
Well, for me, they may tell those who don't know. I have had a first-hand experience. When there was a time there was a gas explosion in Abundado area of Lagos State, because I'm living in Satellite Town, so I was one of the first to get there. So I was seeing dead bodies being carried out from different buildings. Then this NEMA, that's emergency people came and they told me, no, we have to give you the figure to publish. That's the figure of dead people to publish. Yeah. So I told myself, you did not employ me. Understand? I'm not working for you. Therefore, you shouldn't give me the figure that I should publish. So they have a way of reducing figures. Understand? Maybe not to create an alarm or whatever, but that's not what journalism is on about. In journalism, you have to state all the facts as they are. If 10 people die and they say publish 5, that is not what you went that to school for. So this guy has a way of reducing figures. So this guy was telling me that I should, before I sent my story, that he will be the one that will give me the figure that I will send. Understand? Then his assistant tell me that I can write scores. Understand? Died. I said, excuse me, define scores.
Yeah, well.
Or define scores. While I was there, where dead bodies were being brought from different houses and being put inside the ambulance, I was counting it. I will still wait for you to give me scores of what I see with my eyes.
Well, maybe as you say, they manage the figures for in order not to cause panic and all that. But to whose help is that? I don't know. Okay, let's go to the international scene first before we return to do politics back home here. The Strait of Hormuz. It was like we described last week that it might have this agreement, this ceasefire may have, like Rufai would put it, K-leg. So the K-leg is showing right now because Trump is now talking tough. Every other point in the agreement was agreed to except the ownership of nuclear power by Iran. that is the problem now, and the Strait of Hormuz is still the bone of contention and all that. I'd like you to comment on that.
Why should Iran want to have a nuclear power? Understand? Why should Iran want to have a nuclear power? If Iran should have a nuclear power, the world is in danger. Not just Middle East. The whole world is in danger. So for me, Iran must never be allowed to have a nuclear power. What is living in my mind, and assuming wishes are horses, I will say, let America go and begin to guard those uranium. That will make sure that it doesn't happen. Because these are not civilized people. Understand me? These are not civilized people. You cannot leave a gun in the hand of a mad person. So for me, Iran must not be allowed to have a nuclear power. Instead of Iran, I would prefer Saudi Arabia, UAE, having this nuclear power than Iran. Because all the terrorists in the world, Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthi rebels, and are being sponsored by Iran. And such a people, why should they have nuclear weapon?
Okay. Now let's come back to Nigeria. ADC is having its convention, I think, tomorrow. Okay, on Wednesday, I think. Or to be more precise, this week. This week. They're having their convention this week. Tomorrow, okay, what is happening tomorrow is that the hearing of their case, as brought to the court by David Mark, will take place. What do you expect from that hearing, first of all? And what do you expect of the fortunes of ADC generally? And even going forward, that convention, do you think it will be legitimate or they're wasting their time?
One, you say, what do I expect from the hearing? I'm not a judge. It's the judge that will decide the outcome. Understand? Then on whether their Congress will be legitimate or not. Understand? When any Congress or convention, according to the Constitution, according to the Electoral Act, any convention or Congress that is not monitored by INEC is illegitimate. Understand? Any convention or Congress that is not monitored by INEC is illegitimate. That was why when Makinde was holding his PDP convention in Ibadan, I said to me, it is a jamboree. It is a waste of state fund. Understand? But there's a game here which we should be mindful of. If ADC should fold their hands and wait for the outcome of the court, they may not be able to present a candidate at the end of the day. Understand? Because there's every reasons, there's every indication that they can deliberately be adjourning those cases until the time of presenting the deadline of presentation of candidates will be over. Understand? This is not the first time. We all saw what happened when Simi Fobra was sacked. Understand? PDP governors then went to the Supreme Court. Court deliberately did not bring up this case until 6 months elapsed, and Fobra went back to office, which made the case academic. Understand?
Yeah, I'm a bit confused because from all indications, from at least from comments from some other people, including a former commissioner in INEC, presence of INEC in any Congress or absence of INEC in any Congress does not automatically mean that these Congresses are illegitimate. But they have an order, they have a duty to monitor so that they will authenticate it or whatever it is, but it doesn't necessarily mean that if they are not there, it's illegitimate, especially in the light of the fact that the notice for this convention was given to INEC and they endorsed it and everything, and they're now going back on their words based on what their own interpretation of the law was instead of what the courts had to say.
Okay, I want to say something on that. When you are holding a convention, there are a form that will be entered in. That form has a space where the security agencies are to monitor convention. Then INEC are also to monitor convention or Congress. There's a space there where the security agencies that witness it should sign. Understand? There's also a space where INEC should sign. Understand? So if those two spaces are empty, understand? This is what comes in every convention, in every Congress. That form must be filled. Understand? INEC must sign that they witness the Congress. Then security agencies will also sign that they witness. This is what makes it authentic. Understand? So whether it is not compulsory, I don't know, because I have covered many party conventions. Understand? And I have seen those forms in many of the conventions.
So let's talk about the integrity of the INEC chairman himself. What has been flying around now, the recent thing, is his membership of the All Progressives Congress, or at least his sympathies for the All Progressive Congress because of the tweets that he had before now and all that, and people are calling for his resignation.
Okay,
that call has intensified now.
We cannot say his membership, because if you want to say his membership, you have to go to his ward and check whether he is registered or not, or you have to search him to know if he's carrying a APC membership card.
Well, that's why I used sympathies.
So then, but on the tweets, he made those tweets before he became an INEC national chairman. It wasn't recent.
But he's denying.
According to what we are hearing, those tweets were made in 2023. Understand? But what we should not deceive ourselves with, assuming that tweet was in favor of Atiku or P2B, Tinubu would not have appointed him. Understand me? Tinubu would not have, because they must have gone through his beliefs before appointing him. Understand me? They must have gone through his beliefs, his world view before appointing him. Maybe they did not feel that, they did not know that these tweets would surface. Understand? But ordinarily, if it's in a civilized society, the tweet has shown that he is partisan. Understand? The tweet has shown that he is partisan, and what he's supposed to do is to honorably tender his resignation.
Well, he's denying it, that it's not his and all that. That has made people now to go into digging out more things about him. And even though the name has been changed now, but it is linked to his number. Now his number is in public glare. Everybody knows it. It's even linked to an OPay account in his name and all that. So if he's denying it, do you think he will ever resign?
Nigerians don't resign. Understand? Nigerians, have you seen any Nigerian voluntarily resign because of he is being attacked? We don't have such a discipline at all. we don't have such a discipline. Understand? We don't bother about our name. We don't bother about our. I say, if it's in other countries, that is enough for him to resign, because whatever election he conducted, people would not believe it. Understand? Whatever election he conducted, people will not believe it, because that thing exposed him badly. There are things that you can do. Understand? Now, assuming if it's me, understand, to cut this thing short, I will say yes. That time I was a private citizen.
Yeah.
I'm a Nigerian, and I should have my political views. Understand? Do you understand me? So there's not that you begin to make things worse when you begin to deny what is obvious. It will make people to begin digging, and even other things that you don't even know about when they start coming out. I read the interview that the former Minister of Sports granted. That we are Solomon Dalon, understand who he was when they were at the University of Jos.
Yeah.
Understand? So, but if he has admitted, there's no, this thing would have ended on that far distance back. Understand me?
Okay. The federal government has cut duties on pharmaceutical products, rice, cars, and others, and there are mixed reactions. Where do you stand?
Why rice? Why rice? Everything in this government is rice.
There are about 127 items anyway, but the one that is at the fore is rice. And
everything, a sick man, rice, bad road, rice, no electricity, rice. Why rice for this government?
It's a rice, though, compatriots. So, okay.
So for me, cutting down on pharmaceuticals is very, very good. Understand? Because one, our economy that Nigerians are going through hardship. Understand? So buying medicine in the pharmacies are very, very expensive. Understand? And again, just like the other day that Tinubu compared Nigeria with Kenya, when he said that we should thank God that we are better off than other countries, he mentioned Kenya. Minimum wage in Kenya is 177,000 naira. That's minimum wage in Kenya that he was using to compare Nigeria
with 70,000.
Minimum wage is 177,000 naira. Understand? Which means their minimum wage can buy 89 liters of fuel. Understand? But our own minimum wage, which is 70,000 naira, can buy only 51 liters. Understand? So compare 51 liters and 89 liters. Understand me? And there's far more stability in Kenya than in Nigeria. Their train station is more beautiful than our international airport. Understand? Kenya's train station are more beautiful than our international airport. So when you just you want to drop name, you want to drop countries, first of all, do your due diligence research to make sure that what you are saying, when people check it, they will agree with you. So you cannot compare Nigeria with Kenya. Understand? If you say that fuel is selling high in other countries, what is their minimum wage? Understand? What is their minimum wage? When they say that even in UK, fuel is selling higher than in Nigeria, you know, in UK they pay for hours. 1 hour wage in UK is £12. 1 hour, which is equivalent of 33,000 naira. Understand? So, which means what they get in 2 hours is what Nigerians get in a whole month. Understand? So, which means even if fuel is selling at 2,500, they can easily buy it. So, this government, they don't think before putting up these things in public. They should have a research team that before they will come out with any position, they will do their research.
Yeah, I was when I saw that story, when he was saying we should manage the hunger, we should be thankful, we should see what is happening in Kenya. I went to do small research, and as at March this year, 10 African countries offering the best living or livelihood or whatever you want to put it, Kenya was one of them. Rwanda was one of them. Rwanda was ravaged by war at that time.
50 years war.
One of them. And Namibia and other small countries that we were saying we were the giant of Africa.
We are
small
not.
people.
We are not.
These people were there at the top. Nigeria was not even part of the 10.
Do you know?
And then I was just doing a calculation now. 177,000 naira divided by 1,300 naira as the cost of fuel here. You're getting over 139 liters. How much of that will you get with 70,000? It's just crazy.
So when you Google 10 best airports in Africa, Nigeria is not even among, and Rwanda is there.
Does Kenya produce oil?
No, their money just come through tourism mainly. Understand? Their money comes through tourism mainly, and in 2024 Kenya made $49 billion from foreign direct investment. Nigeria made 1.8 2024.
49, I guess 1.8.
1.8. So are we in a problem?
And how is the power situation in Kenya? How is the health situation in Kenya? I was reading all these things, and I was amazed. There are some things I didn't even know. I was amazed how these things are possible in Africa, and we the giant of Africa.
Forget that giant.
Hey, we are plenty now. We have the population 220,000.
Okay, we are quantity, not quantity.
So in quantity we are giant.
Yeah, in quantity we are giant, but in quantity we are not.
Yeah, but as we applaud the federal government on the cuts in tariff or duties on pharmaceutical products, what happens to the policy back home? Because pharmaceutical companies and people who are concerned are happy about it, but are complaining about policy and implementations and all that. Let's take, for example, the CNG was supposed to make life better for Nigerians, but we haven't seen any significant change except for maybe private car owners that also converted to CNG and are taking the advantage. Commercial buses are still charging the same as the ones that are using the petrol. So if pharmaceutical products have less duties now, do you think it will actually bring down the prices of these products that our citizens need?
The issue is this: issuing policies are not ensuring that it is implemented without oversight functions. It's just benefiting those that are in that business. Understand? Because the last time I checked, Panadol Extra was going for 500 naira a sachet. Understand? So if with this cut, price of Panadol did not come down that to 300 naira, which means what government did does not make sense. Because they should have people on the field making sure that these policies are being implemented for the end users, because government is about the people. Government is about the people. So not being in your air-conditioned offices in Abuja and be making policies without ensuring if it's been translated into action. Understand me? That's on the street. It doesn't make sense. So that's why tomorrow now they will count it as one of their achievements. We have cut down on pharmaceutical products, but whether prices of medicine has come down, they will not go to find out.
Now, what worries me is the CPPE, that is a Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise. They faulted the World Bank recommendation advocating increased importation of petroleum products and food, which will include rice, and said a lot of other things that they feel are disadvantages. But even before the saliva dried in their mouth, as our people used to say, the federal government has already implemented this policy which will make for the importation of more food. Now the farmers are complaining they cannot farm because farm inputs are not purchasable. They are not. You can't get them because they are very, very costly. And now you're importing others, which means that the farmers are going to have it really hard. Nothing is done to encourage them, and now we're importing rice. Will that help our economy or worsen it?
Well, I'm a fan of competition. Understand? I'm a fan of competition. That both the local and the international compete.
But is that competition fair? Because agriculture is not, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know whether there are people who are benefiting, but agriculture doesn't seem to have any encouragement in Nigeria. Like I just mentioned, how do you buy a bag of fertilizer now? How do you buy herbicides? How do you buy insecticides? How do you buy every other thing that will make you farm well? How do people even access tractors and all the other things that can make you farm in a larger scale? Those things are absent in Nigeria. So who are they competing with? If when the federal government will just import and you're still using your local tools, the hoe and knife to farm, how is that competition fair?
One, that's to start with. There's even no farm for the farmers
to
go to. Herdsmen, bandits, terrorists have taken over all the farms. Understand? Herdsmen. So if you say that you shouldn't import food items, our farmers cannot produce enough. Understand? Our farmers cannot produce enough because armed men are in the farms, armed men are in the forest.
But should we not address that instead of saying, okay, because we have another solution, let's just go for that solution and bring you rice?
Which means they are indirectly encouraging the armed men to stay. Because if you want Nigerian farmers that to farm, you have to go and fish out all those people who are making them not to farm. That is the bandits that are carrying AK-47 and staying in the farms. Understand? Nobody's talking about it now. So for me, this is a confused country. This is a confused country because one, importing is just killing our own businesses here. It's just like what China is doing to traders in Nigeria. When you go to China for a container of goods, they will give it to you, and now come down as you are going back to Nigeria, they will come with 10 containers of their own. Understand? So when they come, they will saturate the market with their own at a lower price, which means you cannot sell your own. Understand me? You cannot sow. You cannot sell. That's what Chinese are doing. That's why Nigeria importers are suffering. Understand? Because one, Nigeria is a member of WTO, and as a member of WTO, you cannot restrict fellow country people from coming to your country to do business. But the cost of production in China is almost 0.2%. But here, our overhead cost is over 35%. Therefore, you cannot compete with the Chinese. And Nigeria government is not protecting their own businessmen. Understand? They are not protecting their own manufacturers, their own farmers, and so on. It is just what is in the Bible: to your tent, O Israel. Anyhow you can do it, survive.
And we'll call it market forces.
It's never market forces.
They call it market forces.
It's not market forces.
Competition and all that.
It's not market forces.
Anyway,
every country protects their own businessmen. Every country protects their own manufacturers. Every country protects their own farmers. Understand? Because that is the only way the economy can grow, from within and not from without.
Anyway, let's leave this talk about Nigeria and talk about us. Let's talk about people that we can feel, people that we can see, people that we can relate with, and all that. At this point, I'd just like to ask you, anytime I see you on the show, I want to get an update on the pastor who has been bedridden for over 2 years. What's the progress so far? Last week, we talked about the fact that the church was doing something, and we applauded them. Anything in that regard that we need to know? How is he faring?
Last week we heard that Redeemed Christian Church of God has promised to
set up
something.
a committee.
Yeah. So that I said that there's a difference between talking and doing. That most people talk but don't do. So this week the information that I had is that the church, Redeemed Christian Church of God, sent what I will refer to as pocket money, as feeding money to Pastor Abiodun. Understand me? So, but his problem is not hungry. He wants to get well.
And what does he require to get well?
One, what he needs that to get well is 16 million naira. 16 million naira. And Redeemed Christian Church of God sent a paltry sum. If I mention it here, it will be an embarrassment to the church. Understand? If I should mention what they sent to him, it should be a very big embarrassment. Christian, that Redeemed is a big and prosperous international church. Understand? They have the biggest number of churches in the country. Understand? Because they are doing this what we call in business, in your face marketing. Understand? That's within every 1 kilometer you must see 2 or 3 redeemed churches, which means you not transport fare cannot stop you from going to church because it is around your area. So that makes them the biggest church in Nigeria. But this man needed 16 million that to get well. Understand? And what they sent to him is not even up to 1/20th. Understand me? And that's, I don't want to mention it, but I have seen a woman, I don't want to mention her name, just who saw a girl with a child with a hole in the heart. This woman took this girl to India and spent over 60 million an individual. She didn't even know this little girl before, but she spent 60 million for this girl that she don't know. But Pastor Abiodun Onushonda is, even if has been with the church, contributed immensely for the church. Understand? He has served in the church for more than 25 years and need just 16 million. But what they give to, if I mention what that's it is, and for me, I was shocked. I asked him, is this money for your feeding or for your what? Because he cannot even go anywhere. As if it's 16 million and Redeemed Church is able that to give him half, it's not too much. It is not too much. But what they gave to him,
maybe they are giving him in installments.
it is not installment. It is not. They feel that they have done something. Understand? And for me, I expect them to do far more than that. For somebody who has served you served the church diligently for 25 years. What is church for? What is church for? The church that I know that's the church I know of the old is where people sell their personal properties and share with others. Understand? That is the church I know. But today, when that's why I said the other time that Jesus Christ fed 5,000 people. Understand? But today 5,000 is now feeding the pastor. So that's one. I want to make this thing. One, this pastor Ondushana, that's Onduwa Lui is a Yoruba man. Understand? I am from Abia State. Understand? I stopped going to church in 1996. That's 1996. That was the last time I entered the church. And that remains the best decision I have ever made. Every day I'm happy for making that decision. So one, he is not my kinsman. Understand? He's a Yoruba man, he's not my kinsman. One, I'm not a member of his church. I'm just seeing him as a Nigerian who deserves help. And as a pastor in Redeemed Church should help him. Redeemed Church should help him. Even I went to church for 25 years. Up to now, I'm still regretting the offering I was giving them. Because if I had saved it, it would have started a business for me.
Well, everybody has their experiences in church, and I'm glad that you did not mention the amount. Let's hope that maybe it is installments, or maybe the person who was meant to give this money is just giving in bits, and we'll find more. Or I know, or someone said that in the Redeemed Church, even if the church doesn't help you as a body, there are people who come out and do this kind of charity works and make sure that their members are taken care of. Let's hope that at least in one of these, their services, their announcement will be made, and voluntary donors will come out to do the needful. So let's just hold on and see what happens in the coming weeks. We'll still ask you for updates about that. But
so for those who want to help, for good Nigerians who want to help, his number is 080-3428-7077. 080-3428-7077, and his account number is Abiodun Ondushona Onduwanduyi 2017-83-6296. I want to say it again. His account number is 2017-83-6296, First Bank, and his name is Abiodun Ondushona Onduwanduyi. Understand? So I want, since, and the truth is, I'll keep on saying this until something is done. Understand me? I'll keep on saying this until, and when they refuse to do something, I can mention the amount next week.
Let's calm down first.
I can mention what they sent to their pastor that was ordained by Pastor Enoch Adeboye himself in 2008. Like I said, he's not my kinsman. I'm not a member of his church, but he's a Nigerian that deserves help. And again, he's not the first person that we have done this for. We have been doing this for other people, calling for help, which is one of the reasons why the radio station is set up. Understand? To help people. So we have been doing this for other people, and I don't want anybody or any organization to feel that we are embarrassing them. That is why I don't want to mention the amount that was sent to him. If I mention it,
calm down first.
You'll be embarrassed.
Calm down
but
first.
If nothing is done, I will mention it.
Okay, our time is up, but let me give you like a minute or two tops to talk a little bit about your books. We've not talked about them for some time now.
Okay. My book, that's for here and now in VOP. I have 3 books. One is on politics. That's abuse of power, how democracy turned into tyranny of the few, which is exactly what is happening in Nigeria now. And abuse of power, how democracy turned into tyranny of the few. Then the other one is a business book, Dangote's 10 Commandments on Money. It was a one-on-one interview with Aliko Dangote. Then the other one is a self-development book titled How to Become the Best That You Can Be. And whoever is interested should send WhatsApp message or ordinary message to this number 080-3577-9230. 080-3577-9230. And the price of each of them is just 5,000 naira each. That's for those who will come to the radio station to pick it up. We can also send it to anywhere in the country, but you have to pay for the cost of delivery. The price of each of the book is 5,000 naira.
Okay. Thank you.
And if you see what is happening in ADC now, those who have read it will see that what is happening now is exactly what is in the book. So if you want to win an election, even if it's a village election, village election, organization election, that book is a blueprint for how to win election.
In a clean way.
How to now excuse me an instant. If you are in the opposition, your responsibility is to tie every problem going on in the country on the head of the ruling party. Look, you don't studying political science does not make you a good politician. Politics is on the street, not in the book. So that abuse of power is how to play politics on the street.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nosik, for your time this morning. We've had a marathon one this morning, and I wish the doctor speedy recovery, and the pastor. Sorry, I wish him the help that he needs to get better. I wish that the people with a good heart will locate him and do the needful. Church or no church, Nigerians should be our brothers' keepers. Thank you very much for your concern and for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I took a little bit of your time for us to talk, but the lines are open now. 0700 903 903 903, 0700 903 903 903, and we also have 080 3692 9933, 080 3692 9933. If you want to call us or send us a message on WhatsApp, it's 081 7175 6338. 08171756338. Those are the numbers to reach us on. Let's begin with the call here. Hello.
Morning,
Good morning to you.
I greet your guest.
Good morning.
I forget his name now.
Dr. Anderson.
Let me talk about that Redeemer that he's talking about. I pray that God will hear him in Jesus' name. Nyango, I want to make it clear. Though it is good if somebody is down, we help. financially, maybe spiritually, any way possible. But the church is supposed to be a place where sick people are healed. You understand? They have seen where they perform miracles in church. Even Jesus said, by your stripe you are healed, something like that. So let that church, like your man always say, sure. I want them to demonstrate that miracle now. Let them go there and pray for that man. Let that sickness clear from his body. God, I believe God can do it.
Yeah.
You understand? I won't say that, sir. These terrorists that bomb that market, people are saying,
Not terrorists. Not terrorists. Not terrorists.
I mean, target and this and that. My brother, if you go to the north, these people that we are talking about, this terrorists, they use human shield to cover themselves. And to target these terrorists is very difficult for the military and the Air Force, to really, because most of these, and what I read even on the newspaper is that they use, that market is where they exchange arms. You understand? So you cannot be shedding people that are killing your people, and so Nigeria should not say the military they mistarget something like that. They are doing their job. How can you be shedding terrorists, and when they want to strike you say you will not be killed? You understand? So I'm not comfortable for the innocent one, maybe probably that were affected, but you cannot shed terrorists and go free. That is just the basic fact. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, my name is Innocent. I'm coming from Amu on the Facebook. I went on job there.
Thank you.
Please, first of all, I would say the Americans have done well also for whatever they are doing in Iran to make the world a better place, because we cannot afford the whole world to look like Nigeria, where everything is good. And the Dangote too is trying, to give us fuel. No matter what happens, if Dangote is not give us this fuel, our government is supposed to pass Kenya as other president talk. And
Kenyans are not suffering. Kenyans are not suffering just for the
whatever. But you see, whatever they are doing in this bombing, soldiers, they don't forgive people. And if you say that Air Force people mistakenly, maybe we take it as mistakenly, I believe Air Force and soldiers, they don't forgive. When you kill their own person, they must come back to you. If they don't see, they will revenge by anybody they see there. So I hope it's not what I'm thinking, that maybe what happened that time they kill their boss and the other soldiers, they are trying to revenge, because they know those people that kill their boss and some of their sons and daughters and mother and father, yes, they are in that market. But whatever it may be, let them investigate and know what is happening. But I know soldier does not forgive people. And if you go for what happened in ADC and the APC is causing, you see, after we blame Tulumbu for whatever APC is suffering now, not ADC, APC is suffering because of what Tulumbu did not do what the Nigerians expected to him. The Tulumbu should not blame Wike, because if Wike allow ADC, what they call them, the Labour Party and the PDP to bleed and start their own this thing, I don't think that the OB and the Atiku and the one person they're supposed to match. But when they see that these people, Wike and others, doesn't want other party to continue, that is when they join together. And now they join together, it's very hard to AP. So if I will be Tulumbu, I will blame, I will even remove this man from that place, because he's him that caused him harm to him now. After him on himself, causing harm by himself, it's now Wike that's causing the second harm to APC and Tulumbu. They should think about those things. And the APCs will try to do anything they can to have their decision, because whatever happens, there must be nobody will remove them. All this is just formality. They just want to use it to hold those people who want to decamp to ADC. So ADC to plan hard, gather themselves and bring themselves. Nothing. Tomorrow things will change. Court must change the distance, because if they allow the whole Nigeria to gather to play one place, APC will be a problem. You have a problem 2027, because now they are gathering all the whole Nigeria to one place if they decline this ADC opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Nosik.
Good morning.
My name is Chibuzo. I'm calling from JB.
All right, Chibuzo, go on.
And now America they do their own now. Civilians are killed. America do their own. No civilians lost their life. Sometimes at the ask, who be this our military? How they take be military? Before you know, we say all these bandits where they recruit, Boko Haram where they say repented, and they suspect say now don't they do this evil this thing. Because you cannot tell you want go kill a Boko Haram, a terrorist, go kill masses will not be there. But now see if it will not be this country. America can't do their own successful. You know here that they will lost any innocent soul. Only bandits and terrorists. But now Nigeria may now redo their own now. You don't see they swear die now. That's why the reason sometimes say all this one they call repented. They really repented. I mean they just they name that name, no we know say no forgive them and be what. Because you cannot tell me they say kill my mom, see, kill my father, kill my family, and I can't say repented join me. I cannot happy with that person, but I tell the truth. Because the evil mind they have to they keep before they come catch you, come pamper you, say don't go do this again, we go repair into society. Now they tell they cause this mayhem. Okay, imagine now our soldiers go up plan finish. The plan where they go plan to go attack so pain. You go here, so this people don't hear everything. Okay, who be among these people where they let Boko Haram terrorists? You know that Nigeria people, our Nigeria force have information say they want to bomb them. Make you know that thing where they do us from our hands. If we remove this thing, we can fight it, but if we not remove that, nothing going to happen for this country. But I support America, make Iran no have that nuclear weapon, because if they have it, I'm not sure maybe any country will leave. Because now they never have it to start a current fight like anything. But anytime they have that thing, any country they attack it, they must finish it. So I support America for that one.
Thank you very much, Ibuza. Okay, let's take some messages. Who authorized them? Please let us know. This is from Pastor Aga, Palace Way, from Ago Palace Way. Okay, Pastor, thank you. I don't know who authorized them. The military authorized the military. I see crisis starting, staring at APC in Lagos State, which, if not properly handled, may divide the party and affect the votes that President Tinubu will get during the 2027 presidential election, based on the decision of GAC that has picked Dr. Kadri Hamzat that is different from that of President Tinubu's, whose choice is Ambode. As it stands, it's likely that the party's primary would be the determiner to know who will get the party's tickets and become the governorship candidate. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Furthermore, when will the president administration stop borrowing despite the huge revenue generated and the sudden increase in the global price of crude exported due to the ongoing war between US, Israel and Iran? What is government doing with all this money? Finally, I feel it's high time the government should carry out proper investigation that will reveal the reason behind the military continuous missing of targets during attack, thereby killing innocent citizens rather than killing terrorists. Olorun Agbawa, God bless Nigeria. What is government doing with all this? Okay, thank you very much. Temitope Onatoye from the Jegamo community. This one is saying, please, do the federal government of Nigeria add APC and PDP as the terrorist sponsors that the Canadian government has told the world? This is from Leo. Okay, a list came out of people that said were sponsoring terrorists, and he's asking if the federal government added these parties that were designated by Canadian government as being terrorist organizations. It is very clear that Tinubu never imagined when he assumed presidency that no one born of a woman will ever challenge his second term in office, but was stunned by people when people started calling for his removal just after his second year. The master strategist can't even deceive Nigerians by pleasing them on his first term before showing his true colors after securing the second term, like most Nigerian politicians do. His inability to fix Nigeria, which would have been very easy for a so-called strategist, is pure incompetence and absolute lack of wisdom, politically and otherwise, because any little positive tweak of what Buhari has bastardized will have been celebrated by Nigerians who don't ask for much as a miracle. Now everything he does or says, which always is wrong, lack common sense and coherence, is just the characteristics of who God has left. Truly, the voice of people, VOP, is the voice of God. Come 2027, we must surely prevail. And this says, good morning, VOP family. Now that the list of suspected terrorist financiers has been released, they need to be properly investigated and persecuted. Anyone involved should not be just jailed, but his or her life must go for it because of the havoc terrorists have caused to many innocent Nigerians. I ask, is Gumi name among the list? If no, why not? Benjamin from Shogunle. Okay, the best approach is to say that they should face the law. Whatever the law says should be given to them as punishment, should be given to them if found guilty. 2027 election will never be free and fair if the current INEC chairman conducts the election. His actions and past findings about him have proven that he is a pure APC member and will always work for the interest of his party. It's so sad that a respected man like him, as we assumed, is now making himself a public caricature. This is very sad and unfortunate, but Yamgul, whether good or bad, we will continue to channel our strength to a better Nigeria because it belongs to us, to all of us. Have a blessed day, my good friend Yamgul. His Royal Highness B.C. Nwoko Ideshodi. Thank you very much for your message. And this says from Stevie Kelu from Maryland. Please ask Keyamo which game his master is good at. Is it a free and fair election or same game of grab it, snatch it and run with it? It's shameful and not surprising that the likes of Keyamo are still applauding the administrative gymnastics of APC government. Our vote will speak better in 2027. The army should be more careful in their airstrikes. The mistaken airstrike that kills many in Borno is one killing too many. It's obvious that the fear of ADC is the beginning of wisdom for the APC. So we wait for the Supreme Court verdict on ADC suit. We hope the Supreme Court won't disappoint. Stevie Kelu, thank you for your message. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. I'm cool.
Morning to you.
Yeah, it's my colleague.
Oh, my colleague, go right ahead.
Yeah, please, do something about that the man that is flying sick. So we all have contributed our little to so they should add up and other women in Nigeria to contribute to, because we are talking about life here and not about section or religion or whatever. So whatever happens to another man happens to the other. And anyone that is condemning whatever Trump is doing in Iran is a hater of the world, because this Iran, they even not to exist, because the half of the cost of this world is too much. So nobody should condemn what Trump is doing to them now. They shouldn't exist at all, honestly. And again, ABC, go ahead with whatever arrangement they are doing with their party thing. Because APC or whatever they call themselves, they're just distracted, so that they will not have enough time to couple up. So all the antis, we must overcome. APC must go 2007. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you.
This is Mr. Ike. What is your promotion?
Okay, well, go on.
Yes, my take is on the redeemed pastor I seek. You know, I want to appreciate that our speaker for the effort he has made so far. At the same time, the government he worked for over the years, notoriously, should take, partake in this exercise to see that he's cured. You know, it will encourage people who are in the service to be diligent in service, so that they believe that when they leave service or they're within the time of their service, if anything happens to them, they are protected and taken care of. Some of the if we handle this case, if they handle this case as it is now, that will encourage corruption for those who are in the service. But they will say, if I leave service, who will take care of me? So it's better I acquire what I will take care of myself and my family in the time to come. Please, it's very, very important. And again, as I said the other time, there's a councillor representing the area where he resides. or a House of Assembly member who they should take the case up with them. They should contribute. That's, the way you can, the people oriented in all their politics, and people will accept you as a leader or representative, not for their personal purposes alone. That's very important. Then what the issue of Borno and the bombing is quite unfortunate. Some people's lives were lost. But at the same time, you cannot avoid it 100%. Because if the terrorists are mingling within the populace, there's the possibility that anything happens. After all, the terrorists, they do kidnap people, they do kill people with civilians. So it's unfortunate, but at the same time, the military has to do the job. Next time, they have to work with intelligence to minimize the rate of casualties on the civilian side. Or you cannot avoid it totally, as far as I'm concerned. What Israel and US is doing over the Gulf is our benefit. People should understand it from that angle. Because Iran is the snake that is haunting the world as far as terrorism is concerned. So they are going for the head of the snake. And that takes care of, because all these people are suffering here, emanated from Iran, if you trace it backwards. There was a time some containers were seized at the airport here, arms from Iran. Nobody know how that particular issue went down the drain. I never thought about it again.
All right.
Not to talk about the ones who not see. So what they are doing is helping the world. Even the Arab nations closer to Iran, they are not complaining. I don't know why Nigerians are complaining that why should Israel be bombing. They are not complaining, but they know that Iran is a threat to their sovereignty too.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I wish, in the case of the pastor, I wish GoFundMe was a thing in Nigeria. Outside Nigeria, when things like this happen, you can just set up a GoFundMe account, and before you know it, money has been donated for the well-being of that person. No matter where you come from, no matter your beliefs, no matter anything about you, so long as it's a humanitarian affair, people just donate generously. I don't know why it is not such a thing in Nigeria, and I think it should be. Especially, but I know that people in Nigeria sometimes may use it and for selfish reasons, and because of that people will not trust the process anymore. But if this can be done in Nigeria, for instance, in the United Kingdom, a mother of three, Omotayo Abioye, just recently died of breast cancer. She has been battling it, and her family was calling for public support to cater for her burial and the welfare of her children. And a GoFundMe has been set up immediately. In fact, as at the time of the report where I'm reading from, the sum of 1,160 pounds, has been raised out of the target of 10,000 pounds. Before you know what is happening, she might have this amount, or they might have this amount, just to make sure that she is given a befitting burial and the children are taken care of. If a GoFundMe were a thing in Nigeria, it would have been helping us a lot. But right now, we'll just draw the curtain briefly. You know that we usually take a break at this point to come back at 10:30 to continue with this show. But that might just be happening only for the last time this month. Next month we hope to bring something else that will pick up the time of 10:30 to 12 o'clock. It will be something good, something great. It will still be something that we all will be participating, but it will be something a little bit away from too much politics, too much killings, too much of the things that give us heart attacks, but just some fun together with you and hearing your voices, doing business together and all that. So start preparing yourself that when that time comes. For now, let's pay the bills, and then after that, Igbo Amaka will take the air. My name is Nyamgul Agaji. I'm out of here for now.